Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today I have Macy Schmidt, which I just learned her last name. Right? She has hid that from the public, so this is the first time this goes out there. I'm pretty excited about that. So we have Macy here on the channel, and I couldn't be more excited. Miss Macy,
thank you.
Welcome to the channel. How are you enjoying the move?
I actually really have been enjoying it out here. I thought for me, it felt more in the beginning like, oh, this is to save Graham money. For me, it wasn't going to make much of a difference at that time, and now I don't know how the end of this year will look in terms of that. But I'm actually enjoying it out here more than I am in California. The only thing in California for me is my family.
Sure.
So I've always been really big on family, so that's been hard for me not having them. I'm sure many other people kind of know I'm definitely a family person, so that's been like my only thing that's a hesitation for me here. But besides that, like, I find that the people here are nicer. Everybody's a lot just, they are who they are, but they aren't judgy either, where you would get that with like Los Angeles or maybe other parts of California. So I love it here because everyone's just so nice.
For sure. And I also feel like I'm almost home in Vegas as well, not for the gambling, but for in general, just people are super nice here.
Yeah.
Super down to earth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because that wasn't the impression you would think when you think of Vegas. Like, you think them being like gambling and crazy and really wild, and nobody cares.
Some crazy rich guy just yelling at people on the street or something, but that's, you know.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
No, super nice. One question I know that is on everybody's mind right now while they're watching is all of the names you have gone by. So we've got Graham's Girlfriend, we got Unofficial Gigi, and then we have Savannah Smiles. And then now, this other name, Macy. Where does that come from?
Okay, yeah, so there's kind of origin stories to each one. So sure. Graham's Girlfriend started as a joke on the channel. Graham was trying to do an intro, and he was trying to say this, hi, I'm Graham, and this is my girlfriend. When I really, like, from that first video I did with him, I had a whole bunch of people find me, which was terrifying because I had this small little private account with, like, maybe 500 followers on Instagram that I had since 2012. And so then having a whole bunch of people find me and be like, you're this person, you're from here. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, that scared me. So Graham just tried to introduce me from then on as his girlfriend, but then he ended up saying, hi, you know, it's the Graham Stephan show. This is Graham's Girlfriend. And then he looked at me, he's like, what? And I was like, let's just roll with it. Like, just introduce me as that. So I started off as that, and that was before I ever had any intention of making my own Instagram or anything. So it was just Graham's Girlfriend. And then people started saying, you know, Graham's Girlfriend's really long. Let's just call her Gigi for short. So, you know, Graham's Girlfriend. So that's where Gigi came from. The unofficial part came from, which that's my Instagram, came from one of Graham's friends who has his Instagram as like Anthony Unofficial. And I thought that was hilarious. Sure. So I changed mine to Unofficial Gigi for Graham's Girlfriend. And that was, again, before I decided to do the channel. And then finally, I kind of decided, okay, you know, I'm thinking about doing the channel, and it always had this name in my head of Savannah Smiles. So Savannah is my middle name, and so I chose my middle name because I didn't feel comfortable still having my information out. I was working at a place where I felt that could compromise possibly my future at the company if I got out, you know, if it came to be that I had this channel. So Savannah Smiles was going by my middle name, kind of masked me a little bit more. And there's this movie back in the 1980s that was made that my mom wanted to name me after, and the girl was Savannah, and the movie was called Savannah Smiles. So that's where I got that.
That's awesome.
From, and then, you know, Macy's my real name, but.
You know, and then there's Macy. You know?
Yeah.
That's so funny. So I'm actually, I don't know if you could tell, but I really wanted to know the answer to that.
Yeah.
So I watch your channel, but I didn't see that part, so I didn't know if you had ever released that or not. Because I've seen several of your videos, and I was like, now, of course, Graham's Girlfriend, because Kayla on my channel, I call her Kayla, my beautiful fiance, and so people comment like, "There's Kayla, the beautiful fiance." It's just funny how things catch on.
Yeah. So that's where that caught on, and like for all of them, I don't care if someone's gonna call me Gigi or Graham's Girlfriend or Savannah or Macy. I'm just used to it at this point. I've thought for branding purposes, I might need to change the Instagram over to some variation of Savannah Smiles, because obviously the actual Savannah Smiles is taken. But I still haven't done that yet, just because I don't know if I feel ready to like go with the username.
And people might not know this. I actually go by my middle name, not just on the channel, but just in general, because my first name's William. So see, there you go. You know, learn something new. So what are your plans for 2021?
So as you know, I have the upcoming surgery. So getting that done, it's like, it's been a perfect time, honestly, with everything being shut down, because I know that it's probably going to be shut down until summer anyways. at least, and so I should be kind of going back to normal life then. But it's actually that's a big plan. I don't know for the rest of it. Just have my birthday, keep growing, keep just increasing my my net worth and my income, and keep investing in more stocks, and eventually I want to buy my own property. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but I am hoping next year. So to start saving for that too.
Isn't investing and stuff just kind of addictive?
It is. It's probably one of the best addictions I have acquired.
It's so fun, and it's fun because you get to see what you create, right? And of course have consequences if you don't do it well, but it's just awesome when it's working, and when it doesn't, you just learn from it and then just keep moving forward.
Right. Yeah. So I've found there's no drawbacks. Either you learn or you make money, and both are pretty good.
Yeah. Learning experiences through investing are absolutely invaluable. So what are you most proud of from 2020?
2020 was like a really good year of growth for me, but off the top of my head, I would say the channel. I was hoping like by the end of the year, I was like, it'd be great to hit 5,000 by the end of the year, but like 10,000, I had this concept with goals where you have a realistic goal, a dream goal, and then like an out of this world goal. So I had these different goals, and like 10,000 was like out of this world goal, and I hit that in April, and I was like, holy crap.
That's awesome.
So to have that, and then having the channel to fall back on when I ended up getting furloughed and later laid off from my job in December was just amazing. So definitely the channel. I'd say Graham and my relationship got really, really strong over that period of time. I really just had the time to realize, like, yes, this is the person like I want to be with for the rest of my life. Because we hit over being together over a year and a half, and I feel like at that point you definitely have a pretty good idea. We got Bailey, which that took a lot of convincing on my part, but we finally got a puppy, and there's just a lot that happened that year. It's every year since a few years ago has all been up.
That's awesome, and that's a great way to look at it, especially the goals. That's we know I'm huge on goals here on the channel, and speaking of Bailey, she's chewing some earbuds. So the puppy, right? She's listening. She's helping with the audio.
Soon after.
So Macy, one of the main questions that I always like to ask here on the channel is, what do you think sets someone apart from someone that succeeds versus someone that fails or never gets started?
So I was a long distance runner for many years, and they used to say like running is one of those hard things the majority of people can never get themselves to do. So I would say like with that, it was always you have to take your first 5 steps is what we say. Like the first 5 steps out the door are the hardest, and everything past then is easy. I think sometimes people lack, like it's easy to talk about what you want to do, and even with like my channel, I delayed that for so long. When Graham and I first started dating, he was like, you need to start it. You have what it takes to do it, and you have what it takes to do it well. And I kept telling him, well, when I move in with you, and then I moved in with him, and then I waited, okay, well, let's do this. And finally, like New Year's, I was like, okay, I'm posting my first video then after enough push. I think it's easy for a lot of people to talk about what they want, but it's hard for people to go out and go get it. And so I think sometimes it's just like people's lack of motivation to take those first 5 steps, because after that, everything falls in line.
For sure. And then that's one thing Kayla definitely enjoys about you, is that you are very good with people. So like you say you're blunt, but or could be blunt, but truth be told, you have a great personality for that. It's funny that because Kayla also has a really good personality for that. Mm-hmm. I think Kayla should start one. I've said those things to her too, but of course, I haven't even. She sees the stuff that we both go through, that Graham goes through, any creator, and she's just kind of like, no thanks,
Right. I recognize her with how she is with social media and everything, how I was before, and now I have problems with, like, I know my phone's in the kitchen right now, and I'm getting anxious every single time you're stopping to go check and, like, see if there's any new comments or any little things. So, a part of me, like, applauds her for that. She'd be really good, but part of me knows that, like, there's that boundary that gets broken when you start doing it.
Big time. She actually made me proud. So Kayla's secretly into the channel. Like, she's into the channel, but, like, she's like, okay, but today she created what she created her new YouTube name, Kayla the Assistant. So I don't know why, but now she wants to answer the comments as like make it official, because she is my assistant, but at the same time, love of my life, which is great too. So my next question to you is, what is the favorite of all?
She just jumped over the side of the couch.
She did. She's got hops. So what is your favorite of all your videos you've ever made?
There's been a lot of different videos that have been favorites for different reasons.
Sure.
So like when I think of that, I think of like my Big Bear vlog that I did. That was like my second video on the channel because it's my first time vlogging and I felt so awkward and so uncomfortable. The house tour that I did here, it sounds stupid because there's very minimal editing on that, but I worked so hard to make sure it felt like I was taking clips over and over and over again so I wouldn't get a cut. But I tried to make it feel like you're in the house with me with the certain ways I was turning things around and kind of like almost like somebody's eyes following the house. So that was something I was really, really proud of because it was different for me. A lot of the recent vlogs I've been really, 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 really happy with. The millionaires, responding to your assumptions, millionaire's girlfriend, I thought was one that I was really proud of because I stepped really outside my comfort zone to address some of these things that people thought I was Karen, they thought I was a gold digger, and that I was sensitive and like being very open and vulnerable of like, yeah, sometimes I can be really sensitive and sometimes I can't, and like admitting that on camera can be difficult. So that was one that I was really, really proud of. There's been a lot, but those are definitely, when I think of like my favorite videos, it's like I get the flashes of those different ones in my brain.
For sure. And I really enjoyed your thumbnail on the house tour. And then also just another thought process to tag on to what you said. The internet can be pretty brutal. And so one thing I'm proud of here on the audience is in the community that we have, we've built a pretty positive community. And thank you guys for that because 99% of the comments are always super positive here on the channel, and that's super awesome. And you know, it's good to build that network to where you answer, they address them, and they'll respect you for answering and addressing they're having a bad day, so they just that's normally what I think it is.
Yeah. They
are having a bad day, and so they'll comment, and it comes across really. They mean to come across that way, so it's just sad. But when you respond to them, you can really convert them pretty quickly, and that's what you've done too.
Sometimes I've kind of stopped because I noticed some people was like antagonizing. There was one that I responded to, I think, like in the DMs because they were really, really just awful. To the point where they kind of made me feel like my day messed up, and I was like, you don't even know what you're talking about. So for example, Graham clickbaited one of their videos in the beginning that he gave me 100K.
Right.
Well, it was a 100-gram chocolate bar.
Right. And so now it ties into your,
Right. So then this guy was using his ammunition, and I was like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you clearly aren't well researched on me. Or like they were upset at me for stealing Graham's cat. I was like, what? We live in the same house together. Like, it was just like, I was done with like, because they were like, you just take all of his money. I'm like, you have no idea how we split finances. You have no idea. I pay pretty proportional to what I make.
Sure.
But, you know, we also shouldn't be tied to, like, we can't live in the house that we're in now because I can't afford it. So we have to live in only places I can afford either. Like, that's not fair to do to him at all. So it is a little bit of a rough situation. But I responded on that one. And they kept going for months until finally the other day, like, they were making multiple accounts. I just block them and leave them alone. I was like, can you leave me alone? Like, this is scaring me, how obsessed. I've had stalkers before. Leave me alone, please. And finally they did. But, yeah, I've learned that sometimes when you respond to them, it's like they get, like, their kicks out of it. So I've just kind of stopped responding to them. Just, like, kind of also, I'm just like, if somebody wants to think about me, whatever. They clearly don't know me.
All right. So as far as what are your end goals? What are your, as of right now, Timmy, you know, whatever you've decided that you're on pace to do and what you're going to do.
So when I think about that, like, my brain thinks like 10 years ahead from now.
Sure.
And I'm sure at that point, like, Graham and I will be ready to settle down. I don't know if it's going to be a few years prior. I don't know. I can't tell you what our life will look like even like a year from now.
For sure.
Because if we look back a year from here, it was like, a lot happens in time. But when I think of, like, my end goals, I think of, like, starting to settle down and think about children. And I want for that to just kind of, at that point, be able to choose. Do I want to just stay at home with them while they're really young? And then when they go to school, go back to working? Or I just want to have options for myself at that point. Because I think at that point, I'll feel truly liberated of making that choice of, oh, I want to stay home. Or, oh, I want to work part-time still. Or, you know, I still want to keep working because this is what I love, but not necessarily what I need.
Right.
So when I think of my end goals, it's just, I guess, freedom in my choices and to give myself as many choices as possible when I'm young like I am now. And I can handle getting these nights where I'm only sleeping 6 hours a night and working 65+ hour work weeks. So when I think of that, it's more that end goal of, like, starting to settle down and giving myself every option I can.
Sure. And I completely agree with that because the day that I stop managing all the properties, the day I stop doing all these things, it's gonna be just so nice. So nice when you finally can just sit back and go, all right, what's next?
Yeah.
My next question is going to be, what do you think, and congratulations on this, because you just hit $100,000 net worth. So what is your biggest contributor to that?
Right. So the biggest thing in that is my Roth. The biggest thing was definitely just extremely good timing back in March, which ironically for all of my friends are different people, like even Graham that was trying to work on timing it properly. I was the only one that timed it properly because I did not give a crap about getting it when it hit its low. I just recognized there's some really good stocks out here that are only being affected is not because of what the actual company or what their earnings or their product or anything. It's only because everything's dropping right now that I thought they would do really well. And I didn't care if it was going to drop even another 5-10%. I didn't care about getting it the right price. So that's definitely, like, when you look at that, the biggest contributing factor. But I'd say the second was that I had consistently invested and had that money sitting there for many, many years. I had started that at age 19, and I had put, I think, about like 18,000 at the beginning of last year, and I had put another 6 in. So I'd put, gosh, I cannot do math quickly. I apologize. I think I'd put like $24,000 in there. But
awesome.
when I was 17, I started working. I was making $10 an hour, and so I did all of this. Granted, I was able to live at home and different things, but I'd say a lot of it was just I saved. I hadn't made very much, and even like when I look at the 100,000, I've never even made close to 100,000 in a year. But
it adds up.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
for sure. So the best thing about and she said this, starting. So if you start and you invest consistently, like for instance, I had the video, save $10,000 fast. I think save $10,000 in a year is an understandable goal. And if you do it daily and it adds up to a yearly goal, so $27.40 a day times 365 days of the year is $10,000. So take those goals one step at a time, keep being consistent, and you'll have all the success you need.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And like when I look at that too, it's just, I think my parents taught me extremely well. So I was confused when I first started working. Like I had a retail job first, and I remember like managers saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna finally pay off my credit card." I'm like, "You don't do that every month." Like I had been taught like how to manage that really well.
Live below your means and not go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
YOLO.
Or different things where they'd always go, and I did occasionally treat myself to this, but like coffee bean every single morning. Well, when you're working for $10 an hour, that's half an hour. You have 4-hour shifts there.
Sure.
That's less than 1/8 of your pay for the day just to go there.
When you think about it like that, it makes a lot more sense to make coffee at home.
Right. And it doesn't make as big of a difference when you start making, because at that, I remember my second year of doing that for like a full year, I hit 10,000. I was like, holy crap. But when you're only making 10,000 in a year and you're doing that, it makes a really big difference versus like somebody's making like 100,000, 200,000. Like, granted, go for it. That's not going to make much of a dent, but I think some of those little things to save money really early on really help.
For sure. And you can always do side hustles, Uber drive, Uber Eats, whatever you got to do to get it done, and, work today so you can live tomorrow. So congratulations. How many subscribers are you at now?
I think I'm at like 40 or 41,000.
41,000. So congratulations on all the success, all of the great things. And thank you for being here on the channel today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And having me at your beautiful home.
Yes, we love having you.
Yeah, we've actually really become good friends. And I hope they're not like, oh, Grant's coming to you, Grant and Kayla. So they've even said we should move. And the thought has crossed the mind. But all in all, please give Macy a like and a sub on her channel. We're going to link that in the description below. And also, please power up that like button, hit that subscribe button, and notification bell. We post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we would love to have you here on the channel. Also, please comment anything you liked out of this video, and also anything you'd like to see in future videos. And remember, we both, especially since we are very similar on goals, completely believe in you. We know you can do anything you set your mind to, and never let anyone tell you any differently. Hope you have a fantastic afternoon, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one.